I want to ask, though, I need to know this, just by applause, and wait for it because it's a bit of a long question. I want you to applaud if you've ever felt, whether in your childhood or as a teen or a young adult, that you had this like protective charm bubble around you of invincibility. Applaud if yes. Okay, a lot of people. Now, and for me, this was in my late teens, early 20s. What I want to hear is applaud if you still feel like you have that bubble around you. Really? Are the ones applauding still, are you in your early 20s? I'm just, because, okay. Because my point is that most of us lose it at some point. We don't know when we lost it. We just know we used to have it, and now the world is a scary, dangerous place. But I know the exact time when I lost it. In fact, the night and the moment when my bubble snapped. And that's what I'm going to tell you about. It started off good, okay? It was the last Saturday of the summer before my senior year in college. And before I had to leave this area, I'm actually from, well, Maryland, so almost DC. And there were 3 other college friends of mine who were all kind of from the area. One was Philly, one was Virginia, one was DC, and me in Maryland. And the 4 of us, in this very sophisticated, I think, plan, decided to meet at this club in DC where they were going to have a live band and DJ'd music and all this stuff. And we were going to dance the night away. Now, this was 1988, and I know now you're like, oh, everybody does that, you know, but people did not do that. Like, you walk out on any dance floor and it's couples, okay? But this was 4 women, just on our own. We didn't need any men. So we were out there, and I'm telling you, we had a lot of rhythm for white girls, and we were dancing our hearts out. We weren't there for men. We were there to dance. And it's just, like I said, our last Saturday before going back to our last year of school. And it was that feeling of nothing could possibly go wrong. It didn't matter if someone hit on us or didn't, because we were having nothing to do with them. And we were there until the very end. We were the last people there. They kicked us out. So it was a little after 2 o'clock. We were all parked in the same parking lot. We were congratulating ourselves on our sophisticatedness and not needing men. And then we all got in our separate cars and went our separate ways. And, you know, I'd waved. I was standing right by my car, so I wasn't worried because I still had the bubble anyway. And I had my key out. I mean, I'm not stupid. And I went to unlock the car door. And I don't know if anyone's had this happen. This was the only time it's ever happened to me before or since. But I just turned the key, only the lock didn't turn. The key did, the lock didn't. So I came out with just the top of the key and the rest of the key in the door. You know, like I said, not being stupid, I didn't make the key that is clearly inferior. And the thing is, it's like, even, so if I'd had a spare key, I might have been okay, but I didn't. So I thought, no problem, I won't panic. I just had to admit that I did, in fact, need a man, and the specific man was my father. This was also before cell phones, so you know, listen up, youngsters. I walked 3 blocks to find a payphone. That's right, they existed. And I made that call, which is probably just after having to call a parent from jail. You know, it's like, it's 2:30 in the morning. Hey, Dad, you sound like you were sleeping. I was just wondering what you think about taking a nice ride on this beautiful night down to DC and saving me with a car key. And so he's a champion of men. He did agree with some grumbling to come down, got me to give him the address. I don't know how he was even going to find it because this was before MapQuest and navigation system. But anyhow, I gave him the address and then set to, you know, head back to the car to wait for him. And this is where things changed. Apparently around 2:30 at night in DC, first of all, things get a lot darker. It's like all the street lights go out so much that you can't even remember where the street lamp used to be. It's just darkness, and all the store lights are out, and you see like people putting on brass knuckles, and you see no other women in the street. And as I start walking back, I also, in addition to the darkness, I heard the sound of the bubble burst. And that's when I knew, I was aware that lots of bad things could happen to me, possibly all at once. And But I just said to myself, it's just a few blocks to your car. Just walk, be cool, nothing's gonna happen. But then I saw them. It's a group of, I'd say, like 7 or 8 young men. They were all wearing red bandanas, and they were talking pretty loudly, which is how I think I saw them before they saw me. They were coming directly toward me on the same side of the sidewalk. They were kind of like teasing each other, and all of a sudden, I hear this one. They looked a little Latin, by the way. And this one calls out, oye, coño. And I think he's talking to me, but then I hear from behind me a guy be like, don't call me coño, motherfucker. You don't think I know what that means? And I look back. On the other side of the street, but behind me, is a group of men, mostly black, wearing black bandanas. And they seem to be really pissed off about this coño thing. And I noticed this one guy from the group back there has this chain, this big chain that he's like hitting against his side. Like, and then this guy from back there calls out, we'll teach you what happens when you come into our church. And it hits me like, there is gonna be a gang war. And I am right in between these people. And all of a sudden, I'm just picturing the police talking to some reporter the next day going, yeah, we're still not sure how the young white woman was involved. And I don't have any weapons is the problem. I don't even have like a hairbrush. I mean, nothing. But then I remember something that my dear mother told me, who's here tonight. Thank you, right there. You can ask her about this later. She said to me, she said, everyone fears crazy. And I'll tell you, it was like I'd been doing this all my life. I mean, I knew exactly what to do, somehow, magically, without thinking about it. I kind of went into this slouch. I have to show you. So first I slouched over, I started leering to one side a little bit. Yeah. And I kind of limping, and I was like, gotta get some more cheese. Gotta get some more cheese. And just to be safe, that they heard it, gotta get some more cheese. And the first thing I noticed was the group in front of me came to a stop and crossed the road to our side. And then I heard the chain sound from behind me, so I dared to look, and it was because the chain and the guys were turning around and had walked off that way. So I managed to not only escape death, but basically scare 2 gangs at once. So, thank you. So, feel free. You can use this anytime you need it. Feel free. But that is the way. So even though my bubble burst, I did learn that I had my own ways to protect myself. So, like I said, take it forward and with you. Hopefully you don't need it, but crazy is awesome.